Oh, okay. Let me share my screen and then we can get started in 2 minutes. Guys, tomorrow's class, um, I'll have to cancel it tomorrow because I did get a family emergency and I'm flying to Maryland for about tomorrow and coming back Monday. So I'll be covering that class next week. So the topics that are left is hoping to finish reports today. Then we can pick up dashboards. Flows is another topic, and then approval processes and little bit small topics are left. So we should be done within 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'm hoping to finish it up with probably next weekend, uh, or maybe one more day from the next week. We probably would need it. But tomorrow's class, I'll have to cancel it because of family emergency. I hope that's okay with everybody. So let's get started. Okay. So today we're going to talk about reports. Now, what are reports? Basically, if you want to get an idea on your data, right? You wanted to analyze your data. So the first place you will come is reports. Report is essentially it's a list of records that displays data in rows and columns. So just like an Excel sheet, it is going to display you the data. For example, if you want to know accounts, all the accounts that exist in your org, you can get a report on that. If you wanted to see how many opportunities are in closed one, you can go to the reports and take a look at it, and you'll get a 360-degree view of your data. Okay. And reports allow users to view the data in meaningful ways. It is similar to data seen in spreadsheets or an Excel sheet. Okay, so that is what a report is. And then the next important thing is what is the reason for reports, right? So it helps you analyze your data in your org. So it depends on what do you want to do with the data, if you wanted to know what are the different types of accounts you have, what is the revenue per type of those accounts. Similarly, if you want to know how many opportunities are there in every stage. Okay, so that is how you calculate you analyze the data. And if you want to summarize your data, that okay, across my all my accounts, I have 2 accounts of this type, then another 3 accounts of this type. If you want to organize your data, that also you can do within reports. They eliminate the need to manually enter data or check the org for updates. You don't have to go to the accounts tab and look at every record. Report gives you a quick analysis of your data. Okay, if you wanted to create a sales or revenue report for a meeting, you can just go to the reports and it will generate that for you. So that is the purpose of reports. Self-explanatory. We do have 4 types of report: tabular, summary report, matrix report, and joint report. Okay, so now let me go over to the how do you access the reports. So over here in the Cloud Kicks, we don't have the reports and dashboards. So what I can do is I can either go to the app launcher and look for reports from here. So you can see here, this is where I can check the reports. Okay, and I can create a new report here. And you can create reports on standard objects that you have in the system. You can also create it on the custom objects. And you can also create a custom report type. What a custom report type is, we'll take a look at in a few minutes. But here you can click on new report. And another important thing is if you don't have the reports tab as a tab in your application, all you need to do is you go to the setup and you go over to the app launcher here. So we go to the app launcher, sorry, app manager. And from the app manager, you can pick up your CloudKicks application. So this is my CloudKicks application. I'll click on it and I'll click on edit here. And under the edit, if I want to add some more items, so reports and dashboards are not here. So from this list, I can pick up reports and I can move it over here. So reports will be added under the CloudKicks application. So now if I refresh it, right now you'd see that tab doesn't exist. If I refresh the page, the reports tab will be visible. Okay. So if I want to create a new report, you click on this report here, and then these are the folders. Okay, all folders created by me. If you wanted to see what reports have been created, the reports that are shared with you will reflect here. All your favorites will be over here. And access to a report is driven off of the folder. Okay, so if you have access to the folder, you will be able to have access to the reports under that folder. If you don't have access to the folder, then the report inside of that folder will also not be visible. Okay, so it's always important that in order to give access, you will have you need to have access to the folder. Okay, so private reports, it's only going to be seen by you. And then there is a public reports which will be available for everybody to look at it because it's publicly. Okay, but the access to the report is driven off of the folders. Now here, if I click on new report, you can see there are multiple reports are there. So you can see, I'll close this. And this is your different reports. So you can create reports on shoe orders, shoe inventory with suppliers. So these are nothing but the standard report types. And for example, if I create a report on accounts, I just need to select accounts here. And there is a category also listed on the left-hand side. So you can look at all the report types under this all, but if you're only specifically looking for related to accounts and contacts, you click on this and you'll only see the ones that are related to accounts and contacts. Okay, so you can say accounts, contacts and accounts, account with partners. So these are the report type which belongs under the account and contacts folder. Similarly, if you just wanted to see reports for the opportunity related, then opportunities have relationship with products, contact roles. So these are certain opportunity reports without under this folder. So there's also category of the folders. These are the categories, and under that category you will have different report types. Okay, so now I just wanted to go over to the account and I'll create the account report type and I'll hit the start button. Okay, now what columns do you want to see for a particular report? So here you can see these are all the columns that you have: last activity, account owner. So you can remove a particular column. So if you don't want that column to be visible in your report, you just have to remove it from this column section. So here, last activity, I'll remove it. Account owner, I don't need, I'm going to remove it. Account name, yes, I need it. Billing state, type, rating, last modified date, I don't need it. Let's say you wanted to check address line, then you can add it, shipping address. So you can start from which columns do you want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on refresh here. And then this is it's going to give you the reports. Okay. Now here the data is not reflected, and the reason being, if you go to the filters, it shows you have a filter criteria. Filter criteria means there is a filtering done on these data, and you're saying only show me those my accounts, means I am the owner of those accounts, or created date is on or after 27 September. And if you look at the logic, right now the filter logic is not there, but if you add anything, let's say you only want a certain type of account, or if you want a account of a particular rating, you can have another filter. So right now, if I wanted to see data, I'm going to change the filter to all accounts. And then here, I'm going to say created date is also all time. So I don't want a specific created date. I want look at accounts across the board. Okay. So here I'm going to go ahead and refresh it, and you can see your accounts have been displayed to you. Okay, so this is the account name. This is the billing state. Now, if you wanted to go back and reorder these columns, you can do that. So let's say I want billing state after billing address, or let's say you don't want billing state, so I'm going to just remove it. I want account name, then I want the type field, then I want the rating, and then I want billing address and shipping address. Okay. So now if you refresh it, that column will go away. And then this is your simple report that you have. Okay. So right now, if you want to save it, so you're going to go ahead and save this report, and I will call it as account. We'll say all accounts. And here you can automatically, when you do that, the report unique name will be populated. And the folder, you can choose different folders. Okay, so these are, right now it is selected private reports. You can put it in the public reports folder. You can put it in any of these folders here. And if you have put it into a folder which is private, then you're going to be able to see that report, not anybody else. So this, as I mentioned earlier, the access is driven off of the folders, not just by a specific report. So let's say we put it up under the private reports and then just select the folder. So you always have to select a folder and hit save. And the data that you see inside a particular report is also based on what kind of data you have access to. So if there is something you don't have access to, you won't be able to see it through the reports. Okay, now here I'm going to do another filtering. So right now you can see every account that is there, and there are total of about, let me run it, and you can see there are total of 28 records. It also tells you the total over here, and these are the different columns that you have. And moment you add a new account and refresh this report, the data will reflect here. So what do I mean by that is, if I go to an account record, it gets refreshed. Okay, so if I go here, Jesus. Okay, go to this one. And right now you can see we have 28 records. Now, if I click on new, and we will call it as Macy's, rating is hot. And then revenue is, let's say we put it this much revenue. Type is equals to technology partner. Industry is whatever it is. Retail, and hit save. So now you have 29 accounts are there. Now, if you go to this report and if you refresh it, you will see 29 accounts have been there. Okay, so it right away, it updates it. Now, let me go to edit it again. And if I only want the reports which are of a hot type, or the type is customer direct. Okay, so I can add a filtering here, and I can say type equals to, and I can say customer direct. So I can select this pick list value. So now what will happen is it's only going to show me those accounts where the type is customer direct. And then I can change the filter logic, and I can say, which one do you want? Only if there is one. So only one particular filtering I've done is on the customer direct. So if I refresh this, you're only going to see those accounts where the type is customer direct here. Okay, so that is my filtering that I have done. Now, if you have another filtering, you can add, okay, the rating needs to be hot. So here I'm going to say the rating needs to be hot. And then here I will put a filter logic, and the filter logic is 1 and 2, means it has to be of the type customer direct and also needs to be of the type hot. If you don't want that, you can put an or filter also. But let's see what is the 1 and 2. So now if I go ahead and refresh it, you will see only 3 accounts pulling up, and you can save it, save as, and this will create a accounts of customer direct and hot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit save here. So you can see this is the what you have. Okay, so this is the filtering that you can do, and you can also set up your filtered logic. Any questions so far, guys, on this one, what we have talked about? Is everybody good? Crystal clear? Okay. Okay, so now we'll go to the next one here. So there are, this is a simple tabular report. The one that I'm showing you right now is a simple tabular report. And let me remove the filtering because we wanted to have a lot of records here. Okay, this is a standard report type. Okay, so now let's go back. So now you have 4 different types of reports. One is tabular, then it's a summary report, and then the third one is a matrix report. The one that I showed to you right now, it is an example of a tabular report. You're not doing any kind of grouping. Okay, but let's say you wanted to see how many records are there per type. Okay, so you can do a grouping on the type field here, and you can say, I wanted to know how many accounts are there per type. So I'm going to go and refresh it. That becomes a summary report. Okay, moment you add a grouping here, that becomes a summary report. So basically what this data is telling you that, okay, for there are 3 accounts where type is not specified. Okay, so there are 3 accounts where the type is not specified. There is 1 account where the type is prospect, and this is the name of the account. Similarly, there are 8 accounts with the type as customer direct. So it has done a grouping based on the type. That becomes a summary report. Okay, so if I go here, save and run. So I'm going to go ahead and do a save as here, and I can say summary report by type, by account type. And this is also, I'm going to put it in the private folder, and we're going to save it. And now here you can say, this is when you run this report, this is the output that you get. Okay, and then you will see the moment I change it to a summary report, this chat feature also gets added. This chat feature is not available in the case of tabular reports. So in order to add a chat, you need to do some kind of grouping. Okay, and if moment I switch it, let's say if I go to this one and I remove this grouping and I'll just remove it, you will see that the chart option has also gone away. So if I go to the refresh here, add chart has been disabled and I cannot add a chart to this report. But the moment I do some kind of grouping, okay, so like go ahead and select this and I do a grouping here by the type, you will see that add chart has been enabled, and I can add a any type of chart I want, like a bar chart or horizontal chart or a funnel chart. I can do that through this charts here. Okay, so refresh it, and this is a summary report that I have. Now a matrix report is if you want to do grouping by the rows as well as by the column. Okay, so here this is how the matrix report will look like. So it is going to be like a matrix. So you're saying if the type, and then here this is the type here, and then this is the rating. So matrix is if of a particular type, okay, and of a particular rating, you have 1 record. So both needs to meet. Then this is for hot. So we're gonna say hot. Then you have cold, and then you can say warm rating. And here the type is customer direct, prospect, and I don't remember channel, something like that. So over here, the customer direct and of hot rating, we have 1 record. Prospect and hot, we have 0 records. So this becomes more like a matrix for you. Okay, and similarly under the cold, you have customer direct and cold rating. Let's say we have 2 records. So this becomes a matrix report. So what I do here is I'm going to go ahead and do a grouping based on columns also, and this is called as rating here. So now if I refresh it, you will see this is your matrix report, right? This is the one. And you click on one of these and you will see, wait a minute. So if I go to the refresh it again, when you select one, you're only going to see 3 records. If you go to this, so basically it is telling you that there are about 3 records where the type is blank as well as the rating is also blank. Okay, so there you can see here type is not there and rating is also not there. If you go to this one, then the customer direct, you have about 3 records where the type is customer direct. Okay, and then let's just refresh it, customer direct, and the rating is hot. So this is the matrix, and they are total of about you can see here there's the hot rating, and then the customer direct is of 3 types. Similarly, if you select this one, refresh it, these are the 2 records where the rating is warm and it is of the customer direct one. Okay, so this is an example of a matrix report. So I'm going to go ahead and save as, and we will call this as matrix report, account type and rating. And then this one, let's put it into a public folder, and I'm going to click on here and hit save. Now what will happen is, let's see if I log in as somebody else. Okay, if I log in as somebody else, and you can see here automatically a chart has also been added, because you can get this flexibility through a either through a summary report or through a matrix report. But in tabular report, you don't get this flexibility of adding a chart. Now, there are a couple of reports that you created. Few of them are under the private reports folder, and then the few of them are under the public report folder. So now if I go here and I go to the users, and we go to the users here, and then let's see if I log in as John, what do I see under the reports? Okay. So here, if I go to the reports folder, I'm logged in as him. Under the public reports, he see matrix report. You can see here he has access, but private reports, nothing. So we created a lot of reports and we put it under the private folder. Those reports are not visible to him because the folder is not visible to him. Okay. Public report, since you have put it under the public report, matrix report, he is able to see it. And depending upon what access of records he have, he will be able to see that kind of data. Okay. Any questions so far, guys, on what we have covered? Everybody good? Have everybody crystal clear on the different reports? We have matrix report, we have summary report, we have tabular report, and then final we have is the joint report. Okay. I need a thumbs up from everybody before I move to the next slide. Okay, good job. And I'm going to log out as inventory manager, and we will go to the login and log in again. So here in the private reports, you have 3 reports created. And then let's go back here and we'll talk about joint reports in a minute. So what is a tabular report? It is the simplest form of report, a very simple list without any kind of groupings. Okay, you're not grouping by type or rating or anything. It is just like opening a spreadsheet. Okay, just an Excel sheet. Similar to that, you have tabular reports, and reports are displayed in a tabular format like a spreadsheet. Then summary report basically allows you to summarize your reports based on the groupings. You can do a group by on there. Data is grouped based on one piece of information. So let's say we did a grouping based on the rating field. So you can see that, okay, for these account types, these many records are there. For this particular rating of the account, these many records are there. So when you have to do grouping of one row, then that is your summary report. If you do it by row and column both, that becomes a matrix report. Okay. What is a matrix report? It is a more complex report type, allows you to group records by both rows and columns, and used to create a matrix showing summarized data. And we have seen that when you click on that matrix, underneath it, it will show you that, okay, regarding this matrix, these many records that fit into that criteria. Joint report is when you have multiple what do you call objects, and you consider them as blocks, and then you have a common thing across. So let's say if you wanted to join a report which has accounts, opportunities, as well as cases, that becomes a joint report. And the way to create a joint report is like this. So if you go here, we click on new, you start with a common thing across them. Okay, so what is the common thing between account and opportunity? Account, because there is a lookup, there's a relationship between account and opportunity, and there is also a relationship between account and cases. Okay, so what happens is I'm going to go ahead and start with accounts here, and we'll click on start report. And then here, whichever, and I wanted to convert into a joined report. So from here, I'm going to select joined report, and you can add blocks of the same report type or different report type. Okay. So here I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, and you can see now there is this block one has been created. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of certain columns. We don't need account owner. We don't need last modified date. Let's say we just need account name. I want to move type on the top. So you can drag and drop it. Similarly, I want rating here. So you can do drag and drop here, and I don't want anything else. So then I'm going to go ahead and refresh one. So this is my account here, type and rating. And filters, let's say we select all accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And created date, I'm going to select all time. So I'm going to go ahead and select all time. You can also select current physical year, previous physical year, but then what will happen is it will lower the number of records for us. And instead of doing that, I'm going to say that all the accounts that have been created across. Okay, so all time. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, hit apply, refresh it, and then you will see all the accounts. Now, if you want to add a block, you want to say, hey, I wanted to add opportunities also. So then you will go ahead and select opportunities. Wait a minute. Here, opportunities, and then you will add this block, and automatically your opportunity block would be added. And then here I'm gonna all time, hit apply, and then refresh it, and you will see opportunities as well. Okay, so now which columns of the opportunity you want. I don't want owner role. So you have to switch between the filters, and then this is the outline. Outline means what all columns you want to add in your report. You can fix it under the outline. And if you want to add any kind of filtering, you can do it through this filter tab here. Let's say you only want certain opportunities or certain accounts to be shown. You can do that filtering here. Now, if I go back to the outline, let me cross account owner. I need account name, opportunity name, stage, physical period. I need all of that. I don't need next step. And let's keep the type. So these are the second block that I've added. And this is a joined report. And now the other block, if I want to add, I'm going to go ahead and say add block. And here we are going to say cases. So cases also has a relationship to the account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is a third block has been added, case block. I don't need case owner. I need account name, subject, and let's say we get the status as well. So we get the status here. So now let me move status on the top. And these, when you see hash, that means these are the number fields. Okay. And then here on those fields, you can sum them, you can average them, you can calculate the minimum, maximum, median for these fields. And this option is not available on the other fields you can see here. But the moment you click on age, you can summarize that because you can do it on the number, open. You can do the same thing. And for closed, you can see, you can do the same summary of the data. Okay. So now this is, if I refresh it, you will see another block got added, and this is the unrelated to the cases. Now, all these three objects have one thing in common, and that is the account name. So here you can say group across the blocks, and I can say I want to do grouping based on the account name. So this is the grouping you are doing it. And then when you do the grouping and you refresh it, it will tell you that, okay, for this particular account, I'm going to go ahead and run this, and it'll tell you for this particular account, we have no opportunity. Okay. And if you scroll to the right, we also have no cases. Okay. So that is this one is telling you. Similarly, for this account, Burlington Textile, we have one opportunity. Okay, you can see here Burlington Textile, this is one opportunity, and we have two cases under this opportunity. So this is an example of a joint report when you have to add multiple report types into one, and you get a clear picture of that, and you can add up to 5 blocks in here. Okay, and there needs to be a common ground here, right? In this case, the common thing was account name was common across those reports. Under the accounts, opportunities, as well as cases, the common field was account name because they did have a relationship. Okay, so that is the example of joint report. Allows you to combine information from two or more very different reports into one. Utilizes the report blocks to display multiple reports together. So if you have multiple reports and you want to see it in one frame, you can do it through the joint report. Okay, now we have already seen how to access the reports, right? So we can create a new tab and add that tab in the app under, or you can directly go through the app launcher. And here another important thing is, once let's go to a report that we created, simple all account reports. And here you are multiple options here. You can subscribe to the report. Subscribe to the report means if you want this report to be sent as an email, you can subscribe to that, and you can do it either weekly basis. You can select the days you want to do it, what time you want to do it, attach the file. Like, do you want it in this particular report in this format or details only? You can select between the two. And let's say we do details only, we go ahead and add that. And then you can see here, run report as me and run report as another person. So when you pick up run report as me, that means it will run report under that particular, under me, like whatever access I have, it will run it. Now, another important thing is another person. What does this mean? This doesn't mean that whatever access this person has, Deepika Khanna has, I will see. That is not the meaning of another person. When you select another person, it is going to see what are records you are able to see and this person is able to see. And then whichever is the common set of records you both are able to see, only those will be shown under the another person. So don't get confused when I say another person and I have given system admin as the other person. Then it doesn't mean that all the records with system admin has access, you will have access to. No, that is not correct. Another person means that what are the common records you have access to, only those will be seen. And we'll take a look at the definition in a minute. And then here you can add the subscription. Recipients see the same report data as the person running the report. To add other recipients to the subscription, make sure the report is saved in a shared folder. So right now, you can see here, right now this report is under the private folder. That's why I'm not able to give access to other people. So first thing is I need to go to the reports here and go to the private reports and select this report here and move this report to public folders. Okay, so I'm moving it to the public folders. Now this report, if I go now and I can see this under the public folder, and if I want to subscribe it, I'm going to go ahead and subscribe it, and I can add the recipients here, whoever you want. So let's say we want to add John. Who else we have? Okay, so now John inventory manager is there. I'm going to add it. Similarly, if you wanted to add sales rep, he will see it. But moment you add it under the public, they will have access to it anyways. Okay. So this is how you can subscribe to the report. So every week on Saturday at 10 o'clock, these people are going to get an email with this report. Okay. And run report as me means it will run it under their whatever they have access to. Another person is whatever is the common records between those two, those will be visible. So that is the difference. Reports are saved and kept under some kind of folder. It can either be a private folder or it can be a public folder. Report consists of rows and columns. We have seen that. Columns represents the field you choose to display. Then fields can be added or excluded from the outline tab, and we have seen it. You can remove the fields from the outline. You can add the fields. You can rearrange the sequence of the field. Okay, I want account first, then type second, then rating. You can rearrange that. And then there is a edit button to make permanent changes to the report structure. So we have seen how to navigate it and how to see a report. Okay. Then we also seen the filters, right? So there were, when you started, by default, there is a filter of my accounts. We changed that filter to all accounts. And there was a filter of created date as well, and it was set to a specific time frame, and that limited the number of records we are able to see. The moment you changed that created date to all time, you were able to see the all these records. Okay, so you can also have applying temporary filters, and that will just, you won't be able to save it, but it's just going to run it temporarily. Users can apply additional filter, like we just did. We put account type equals customer direct, and we got the records where only the accounts which belong to this one customer direct, we were only seeing those records. Then you can add filter logic. I can do the, okay, condition 1 and condition 2, or you can say condition 1 or condition 2. That means either one of these condition needs to be met. Okay, so very simple, and we have already taken a look at all of these. Now, reports are dynamic. What does that mean is the moment you add records under that object, they will display the latest data in the system. Okay, all you have to do is just refresh it, and then you will see what is the latest amount of data that falls under the reports. Any new records satisfying the defined report criteria will automatically appear when the report is refreshed. So you don't have to do anything else. All you need to do is just refresh the report. And the moment you refresh the report, that newly created, what do you call, uh, data will be reflected in that report. After you have set up the columns, you have set up the filters, then next step is to just run the report to view the final output. Okay, so sometimes if you are here, this is you, when sometimes when you go back, let's click on all accounts, and sometimes this view, let me go to the edit. This edit view might not give you all the accounts. Right now, we only have you can see it, it's only previewing a limited number of records. In order to see the exact number of records, you will have to run this particular report. Okay, so there can be a difference between the number of records you see here now, and then once you run the report, there can be a different set of records, and that depends on, because sometimes there are huge records you might not see all at once into this mode. So you will have to run the report in order to see all those records. To rename a report, click the arrow. So if you just wanted to change it, you can either change it from here, you can change the name, and then here you can save as, or you can go to the properties and you can change the report's name from here also. And you can do either one. So you can change it from here, that is one place. Then you can go to the save. You can save as means it will create another report, okay, when you do save as. And then you have is the properties, where you can change it from report name here. You can change the folder also from here, so you can do any of that. Okay. Exporting reports, you can export the reports also. So if I wanted to, let me go ahead and save it, and then we will run the report. And here you can export the report as well. So you can see here, you can export it, and you can export it onto your local machine. Then you can manually send it via email. You can delete a report, and you can add this report to the dashboard. Once we talk about dashboards, we will learn about this one. Any questions, guys, on so far what we have covered today? Guys, I needed input from you. Okay, great. And then as an assignment, what you're going to do is you basically, you remember, you will create reports on the custom objects that we have created. And you will also see the data, what other people are seeing. So you need to do that as an assignment. Okay, you will create reports. And then after the reports have been created, you will see that, okay, what data they are seeing under me and what data they are seeing as when you do a run as another user. So these are the things you need to do as an assignment. I've shown you what is the meaning of them, but in order to see it exactly, you will do this as an example. Okay. And I'll give you that thing. Now, a report must be saved inside a particular folder. So as I already told you, every report needs to be under a specific folder, and the access of that report is controlled by the folder. Report folders control who has access to view the data, edit the data, and manage the reports. So report folders will decide who can access it, who can view it, who can manage it. If a user cannot access a report, the reason is they do not have access to the folder where the report is kept. So if there is a question comes, hey, this person doesn't have access to a particular report, the reason is doesn't mean that that report access is not there. It means the folder that report is present in, that access is not there to that user. Folder access can be shared with specific users, public groups, or based on roles and subordinates. So if I go to a particular reports here, and if you go to folders, and if you go to this, you can see here, you have this, you're sharing the particular folders here. Okay, under this folder, you don't have any reports, but these are the different folders, and you can select the share button and who do you want this folder to be accessed with, and what is the level of access. You want to give a view access. View access means they're only going to see the reports under this. Edit means they can change. And then the next one is manage. If they wanted to add or remove another individual, they can manage that as well here. So you can select which users you want to give access to. Similarly, let's say we select John, then we have as the sales rep. So all these people will have access to this folder. That means all the reports that are available under this folder, they will automatically have access to those reports also. Okay. Access level include view, edit, and manage. Now, this was the one important thing we discussed, running the report as me, and then run report as another person. So we saw that they can run the report as just as me, or you can run it as another person. So when you run it as me, users will only see the data on which they have access. So if you're running, if you're looking at the report, you will see a different set of data. If I'm running the report, I'll see a different set of data. For example, a user running an account report will only see accounts they own, have been shared with, or have access to. So only those would be visible. So if Ram is going to see the records, only those records he will see which he has access to. If Deepti is seeing the records, Deepti is only going to see the records which she has access to. If you put it as run report as me. Another one is run report as another person. This does option, this very confusing. This option does not grant the running user additional access to data. So it doesn't mean that if you are running the report as a system admin, whatever access system admin has, you will have access to it also. No, it only show the common records, the subset to which both the running user and the specified another person have access. So Deepti and system admin, what are the common records both can access? Only those will be visible. So that doesn't mean when you do run report as another person, it will open up wide access. No, only the common records will be shown. And this is typically used by admin or managers. Okay, that is the difference between running report as me or running report as another person. Any questions on this one, guys?
Quick question, Deepika. So when would you be doing that?
So if you
Typically.
want, usually what you do is you run the report as me, so only people with the access they can see it. Run report as another person is if you want, like in a team, if you want access that everybody see a common set of records, then you will choose run report as another person. So the members of that team will have a common baseline access to all the records. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, now scheduling and where was it? Scheduling and emailing reports. So we saw that you can schedule the reports, and if you want reports to be emailed to your team members on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, you can schedule the mailing of those reports. Okay. The where is the subscription option? Nothing. You go over to a particular report. So let's say we go to public reports and we click on this one. You have is the subscribe button here, and then you can choose who do you want to send these, who the recipients are, and all of that. Okay. And the subscription option is found by clicking the arrow beside the edit. You can configure the frequency of the email. You can choose the specific day and time for the report email to be sent. Recipient must be added to the subscription list. They will receive the report based on the scheduled timing. So based on the timing, they're going to see that particular report. Okay, next one we have is remember I told you we can also create a custom report type. Now, why do you need to create a custom report type? So let's say we go to in report and we create a report on opportunities. Okay. So through opportunities, you can also access the columns of the account record because opportunity has a relationship with the account. So for example, if I go to reports and we click on new report here and we close this, and then here we will say report all, and we select opportunities. Okay. And I'm going to start the report here, and which fields I want. I don't want role. I don't want owner. I just want names, stage, all of these. So this is my opportunity filters. I'm going to change it to all time. And this is my opportunities. Okay. Now, if you go to the outline, you can see, I can see account related fields as well. Account type, account site, account number, account ID. Now, these fields, the reason I have access to them is because opportunity has a lookup, has a relationship with the account. Okay. But if you have added, this is a standard report type. Now, why do you need a custom report type? The reason is when you add a new field on the account object, those fields might not be visible on this standard report type, and you cannot change a standard report type. Okay, so let me show you an example. Right now, this is my opportunities, I'm going to save this report and I will all opportunities. Understand why we need a custom report type. Very important. So we're going to go ahead and hit save here. And you have all these opportunities. You can access them. Now, if I go over to the account object, okay, and I go to the edit object here, and I go to the fields and relationship and I add test, a new field here. Okay. And we can add it as a checkbox. Okay. And then we call it as is active account. Okay. This is the field. Next. Visible to all. Next. And then save. Okay. Now this field is active account. If I go back to my reports, okay, if I go back to my reports here, and if I refresh this, just to make sure, if I refresh this, there may be a possibility that I don't see this is active. Actually, I do see it, but usually what the reason they say is sometimes these new fields that you're adding might not be available, and then you cannot, if you wanted to not make one field visible, let's say you want amount to never be added in a report, then you cannot get rid of that because you cannot change a standard report type. Okay, so in order to make some changes, make it more customized, you create a custom report type. And how do you create it? So you go to the setup, and here you basically click on custom. And then sometimes, okay, I'm not saying it happens all the time. Sometimes I'm going to say custom. Where is it? Oh, report types. Okay, so you go to the report types here, and then we'll continue and we will create a new custom report type. Okay, now if you want to create a new custom report type, that means you can change whatever you want. You can see that I can change the fields that I want under a particular object to be available for report. You can customize that. If there is a new custom field added, you can make it visible, you can make it invisible, depends on you. Okay, so here the primary object I'm going to choose is accounts. Display label, I'll call it as custom account report type. Okay, this is the, and store in a category. Now, where do you want it to put it under? I'm going to put it under accounts and contacts, and it's in deployed, means it will be available. Hit next. Now, this is my primary object. Now, click to relate to another object. So here I can go another level deep and I can say, give me all the accounts. Each A record is account, must have at least one related B record. So if you want it this way, then you will select this option. If A records may or may not have related B records, so I don't care. A can have if opportunity record tied to it or may not have. So I'm going to go ahead and with this option and hit save. Now, which columns? So automatically account has 74 fields, opportunities is 41. Now, if I want a particular field to not be visible, okay, I can go ahead and remove them from here. So let's say I don't want the annual revenue to not be, or I don't want ticker symbol to not be there, or I don't want ticker symbol not to be there, then you can say revenue tier to not be there, is active account to not be there. So you can select which columns you don't want reports to access. Okay, and similarly, on the opportunities also, you can select, okay, forecast category. Which ones do you remember which all we had? So one was is active. What was the other one? Then this was is active account. So this was for the account object. And for the opportunity, we said forecast. Forecast category. What was the other fields, guys? Do you remember? Guys, you're paying attention or not? Text me which ones the fields that I said not to be visible under the report type. Am I going too fast? Guys, speak up, please. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, Ram is good. Ram, do you remember what fields we have? Okay, I'm also going to remove Nike's code. So I'm going to go ahead and do from here, Nike's code, I'm removing it. Okay. Then I'm also going to remove Nike's description. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that also. Okay. Expected pairs. I want to remove it from the opportunity. So here you can say expected pairs. I'm going to remove it. And so then what will happen is you won't be able to report on these ones. Okay, only these columns that are there, you can report on it. And if there is anything that you missed, then you can add it over here. So now if I go over to the reports, and we go to the reports here. And if I create a new report, and this time under the, I'm going to be using a custom report. Okay, so here we can say custom account report type. This is a custom report type. And if I go and click a start report, you will see some of the columns like nights. I cannot do anything on here because that column is not visible to me because I removed it from the custom report type. Similarly, I won't have access to is active either because that also I removed it. So only those you will be able to see which those one are the ones you'll be able to see which are available through the custom report type. So that is the reason why we need a custom report type, is because you can manage it. You can see, you can add fields through the custom report type. You can remove fields from the custom report type. If you don't want reporting happening on that particular field, you can remove it from the reports. Okay, and you will do it because if there is a field, let's say SSN or EIN number, you don't want reporting happening on those, you can remove them. You can only do it from the custom report type. If you have to remove it from the standard, you cannot do that because you can't change a standard report type. Okay. If you use a standard report type based on a child object, for example, opportunities, to pull related parent, you will likely to only get access to the standard fields of the parent object. This was possible. This was happening few months back, or I would say a year ago, but I think Salesforce has updated it. But you cannot change a standard report type. Custom fields on the parent object may not be available in the standard report type. And then another drawback of a standard report type is you cannot edit the standard report types. And standard report types cannot be edited. If a requirement dictates that a user should not see a specific standard field in the report or needs a new custom field added, the standard report type cannot be modified to meet this need. Okay, so in those scenarios, we will be using a custom report type. Okay. Doesn't mean that custom report type only means for custom object. No, custom report type means you can have reports created and you can define which fields you want it. You can also define the relationship. You can choose a primary object and then you can say that, okay, this primary object has a relationship with the secondary object, and you can go a level deep as well. So if I go here to the custom report type, so if I go to the setup, and here you go to report types. And then under the report types, you can go A, B, C levels, and you can define your relationship. So you can go to the, here we were creating custom account report type, and then review the layout. These are the fields that are there from the account object. These are the layers from the opportunities. And if you want to do the object relationship edit, you can add another object which opportunities have relationship to. Okay, so all the objects which opportunities have relationship to, you will see it under here. Okay, and then you can decide each B record must have at least one related C record, or you want B records may or may not have related C records. So you can choose how do you want to show records. Okay, did everybody understood why we need custom report types? Deepti, am I going fast? Betty, May, Sayali, Girija, are you guys following? Okay. Okay. So what is the reason? So if you have to remove a particular field on which you don't want a report happening, you are going to create a custom report type. If you use a standard report type based on child object to pull related, yeah, this one we already done it. Next one is we've already seen how to create a report type. We created a custom report type between account and opportunities, and whichever fields you selected, only those were visible to you. Now we are talking about some row level formula fields. Now, if you go here, okay, And you can go to the reports. Let me close this. Don't need this. And here we go to the report builder, and let's go to the regular reports, all accounts. Okay. Now we talked about filtering. I'm going to go ahead and click on edit. Now here you can add a row level formula also. So you can see here there is an option on adding a row level formula and then a bucket column. And then you have is the summary formula, but it is disabled. So summary formula is only on summary and matrix. But row level formula, you can basically, if you want to add a formula, but you don't want to add it on the object. Okay, you want to add a formula field, but instead of creating that new field on the account object, you basically just temporarily created. You can do it through the report as well. Okay. So here the formula I'm creating is for simple opportunity. Let's say we do finding the age of an opportunity. Okay, so I can add a row level formula on the opportunity. And how do I do it? So I'll go to the, I'll go over here, create a new report. And this report is on the opportunities. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, set to, so this is the report I'm creating. And let me go to the filters, all time, all opportunities. Under the outline, let's say I don't want role, I don't want owner. Uh, Next step, I don't need it. So these are my columns on the opportunity. Okay. And now here I wanted to calculate how many days this opportunity has been, what do you call, the age of an opportunity. Okay, so what I can do is I can basically go here and I can add this row level formula. And basically I can give a name here and I can say opportunity age. Okay, and this is 0. And then what is the formula? So here you can specify the formula is today. So under the functions, you will see today. Okay, you select that function today, and then you come here and you do insert minus minus the created date. Okay, so here we will select created date. You click on that and you do a created date. Now validate it. You're getting it wrong here. And the answer is expect error when encoding row level formula, incorrect parameter type for operator, expected number, date, received date time. So this created date is a date time. It returns in output of date time. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert it into only a date value. So there's a function available called date time value, date value. So here I'm going to go ahead and insert that function, and I'm going to put this created date inside of that expression and then validate it. So what we're doing is we're saying today means whatever the today's date is and whatever the created date is on that opportunity, minus both of them, and it will give you opportunity age. And automatically a new column is going to be added here. If I go to the run, a new column is added called opportunity age, and it will tell you what is the age of the opportunity. So all of these opportunities are created at the same time, except these ones. So this one got created 4 days ago. So that's why it has that number. So last 3 were created 4 days ago. So this is your opportunity age. So if you want to add a formula at the row level, okay, so this is at the row. You can also add it at the summary formula also, and we'll take a look at it in a minute. But this is your row level formula field. So instead of adding a formula to your particular object, you can add it a row level formula from the on the report itself. It is used when a used when a calculation needs to run for each and every record in the report. So what it's doing is for every record in this row, based on the created date, you can based on the created date, we were able to find the opportunity age. Similarly, I can go back edit, and here I can add another one, and you can only add one row level formula. You cannot add another one. So what I'm going to do is I have to remove this, and then I can add a row level formula. So you can only add one row level formula at a time. Here I can say close days passed since close. Okay. This is again a number and I'm going to remove it 0, and the same thing today minus date value, and I can say close date and then validate it. Oh, this doesn't need date value. This is automatically a close date. So here validate it, and this is valid. Hit apply. Automatically you will know that, okay, these many days have passed. So I'm going to run it. If you scroll down to the right, you can say it will tell you, okay, how many days have passed since the closing. So some of them 86 days. So these are the different numbers based on the close date on the opportunity. So used when a calculation needs to run for each and every record in the report on a row level. So at the row level, if you want to do it, then that is the row level formula fields. Row level formulas eliminate the need to create the formula field directly on the object. So instead of creating it on the object, you can create it within the report also. You can do a simple calculations like finding the age of the opportunity, which we only did. You can also do a row level formula based on does the uh, address matches. Okay, so here, if I go to another report and we go over here, we go to the all accounts. And here also we can add another row level formula. So we go to the edit, and here we can say add a row level formula. So you have billing address and shipping address, right? So if you want to see, do they matches, right? This column matches to this column, we can add a formula here and we can say, does address match? Okay. And this is a number and this is a 0. So now what we are checking, if, so this is the function we're adding, if, what is the logical test? Account dot of billing address. Okay, this one billing state. No, that's not the right one. Which one are we doing it here? State, sorry. So here I'm going to say billing state not equals to, let's do account dot of shipping state. If it is true, I'm going to say 1. If it is false, I'm going to say 0. Validate it. Let's do this. If account dot of, let me see what was the one, state. Not equals to account dot of shipping state. Let's see if this works. If it's not equals to, if it's equal to, I'm gonna do 1. If it's not equal to, I'm gonna do 0. Let's just do this one, state, and then account to dot state. For some reason, it's not coming up. Let's do it one more time. If, and we are doing it on the account object. Let me do it through the reports. Let's see if it was on the opportunities. Edit. Add row level formula. If here I'm going to say is address matches. Number, it's a 0. And here I'm going to say account dot of address. No. Billing state. That's not correct. Some reason this was working. Not equals to account to dot shipping. I don't know, guys. This one I have to look into it. Why? But you got an idea that we are checking uh, if the account state is not equals to the other shipping state or billing state are not equal, then if it's not equal, you'll get a value 0, and otherwise you'll get a value of 1. And then what will happen is a new column will be added, and that column will say, does the address matches or not? Okay. I'll take a look at it after the class just to tell you what was it. This was working. Not sure why it stopped working on the state. Uh, but that is a row level formula fields. The next one you have is the summary formula fields. So summary formula fields based on the aggregated data. You need to have summary, like you need to have grouping in order to create summary formula fields. And if you remember, you can only create one row level formula per report. You can, and then you can only do that one formula per report. Summary is when you have a summary report and you wanted to report must have groupings for summary formula fields to be utilized. And here what I'll do is we'll go back to this one. And then here we wanted to do summary. And then the example is monthly average cases per account. So if you want to know that, okay, how many cases were created per account, you can create a summary report. And you can also create a pipeline coverage sum to figure out what is the pipeline coverage. Okay, like how much the average for that opportunity is going to be. So let's go, this is on the opportunity. We can add a grouping here. And let's say we do opportunities grouping based on the account name. So here I'm going to say account name. So first you will see this summary formula is you cannot click on it. But here the moment I choose account name, and then that summary formula is enabled for me. Okay, so you can say refresh it, and you can see here that, okay, for this account, we only have one opportunity. For this account, we have 3 opportunities. So now you have created a summary report here, and we can say opportunities per account. We're going to do a save as here, and we'll hit the save. So now this is your opportunities per account. Now, if you want to add a summary, you can do a summary formula. And here, what is the name of the column you want to give? Let's say we give it as pipeline coverage. Okay, so we go ahead and give pipeline coverage. And here, what is the what it is going to give you? It is amount. It's going to give you in a percentage. Okay, so we're going to go in percentage. It can be, so here we are saying sum of the account. So there is a method available called sum. So we are adding amount sum. So we are doing a sum of the amount divided by $1,000,000. So what it will do is, it is basically, we're going to validate it, and it's valid. We'll hit save here. So what it is doing is, it is basically going to add another column, and it is going to do based on that particular summary. So if you see here, we have 15,000 as the amount. So 15,000 divided by 1,000,000. So what will be the output calculated here? So 15,000 divided by 1,000,000. This is giving you 0.015. So you can see here it is, and then was it, how much was it? Let me see. What did I do? 3 sum of amount, and then divided by 6 characters, and then it gave you a decimal also. So let me change this, and let's just do 0 and apply and see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and refresh it. So this is 2%. So based on, basically it's rounding it up. And what we are doing 15, what was the amount sum? So this was 15,000. So here we'll go 15,000 divided by 1 million. It's giving you 0.015. Let me do another one. 75 plus 50 plus 60. So 110, 185. Let's see, what is this one? One, and then, okay, 0.015 multiply by 100 because you did a percent here, right? So then that's giving you 1.5. It rounded up to 2. Similarly, if you do the other one, that was 185 thousand divided by a million. So it's doing it based on that summary and then multiply by 100. So this is going to give you 19. Okay, so if you see here, it should be 19%. So based on, this is happening across the summary, the row was happening across one row. So difference between a row level formula and a summary is that it is doing based on the summary of these three. Row level is based on every row. Here it is calculating the sum of all these three and then dividing it by million. Then we got a pipeline that, okay, this is might be a pipeline. Similarly, this one is 300,000 divided by million. That comes out to be approximately 30%. Okay, so that is another summary formula that we have added. Now, another example of a summary is if you want to calculate how many cases are there per account. So what we'll do is we will go to the reports here and discard the changes. And I'm going to go to the new report. And this time we create a report on cases. All, and then we're going to create a report on cases. We start the report. And it is telling you that, okay, the case owner, I don't need it. We need account name, subject, date, time. We need status of the case. So I'm going to go ahead and add the status column here and move the status column up here after the subject and then refresh it so that, okay, these are the different cases are there. Now I want to do how many cases per account. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose account name as my grouping. So I'm going to go ahead and see. So now I'll know that, okay, for this account, I'm going to refresh it. For this one, I only have one case created. For edge communication, I have 3 cases created. For logistics, again, I have 3 cases. So I got an idea on how many cases are there. Now, what my summary formula says is I want to know monthly average cases. Monthly means every month, how many cases are there per means row count divided by 12. So row count means there is one row count divided by 12. That is going to give you my monthly average cases. So here I'm going to go ahead and add a summary here. And then here I'm going to say monthly average cases. And this is going to be, there is a function available called row count. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Okay, this one under the field itself, record count, I'm going to go ahead and select this and I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to go ahead and select, go down and insert it. Okay, so row count divided by 12 and then validate it and it's going to calculate me the monthly cases. So now refreshing it, a new column would be added. So 1 divided by 12, how much is that going to be? So calculation, 1 divided by 12, it's going to give me 0.08. And that is what you see it over here, 0.08. Similarly, 3 cases are there. So 3 divided by 12, it's going to give me 0.25, and that's what the value is. So if you wanted to do it, summary formulas, you can do it, but as long as the report is of the summary type or it is of the matrix type, you can add a formula. But if you don't want to create a formula field on that object, if you wanted to just create it on the under the report, you can do that as well. Now, what is the difference between the two? Okay, summary formulas go across multiple records, while row level formulas go across a single record. So if you see here, in the case of summary formulas, it was doing a summary, right? It was saying 3 records at a time, and then we were doing a sum total of those three and dividing it by million. So it calculated a summary for us, right? Row level does it every row. Okay, what is on that row, what you wanted to calculate. Summary is across multiple records. You can think of summary formulas as the column-based formula, and whereas the row level formula result displays on the row itself. Okay, so you can see here in the case of the summary, it shows it after as a column, right? For these entire one record, for these three, you see a summary. For these three, you see a summary. Similarly, for these two, you see a summary. Whereas in the row, you see it across that row itself. Did you get the difference between the summary as well as the row level formula, guys? Are you guys following my today's lecture? Deepti, are you following me?
Yeah, I already did the thumbs up.
Awesome. Okay, good. Not too fast, right?
Oh, all good.
Okay, good. Now coming back here, so the row level summary formulas go across multiple records, find it at the bottom of the column. Example is average amount of all renewal opportunities in a report. That is your summary formula. Row level is applies to a single record, and you will find it on the row itself. And if checking the address or checking, what was the other one we did, row level? I did that, right? Yeah, row level was this one where we created the date of the opportunity and all of that. So that is the difference. Now, this is another important one is the bucket fields. Now, what is bucket fields? When you need to combine multiple values of a single field into one logical grouping. Okay, so let's say every account has a annual revenue, right? So based on the annual revenue, you want to say, okay, it's a small size account, it's a mid size account, it's a large account. So then you will do something like a bucket field. So for example, if I go over and we go to the reports and we create a, we do have all accounts reports. And then over here, we edit it, and let's say we add another column called annual revenue. Okay, and we move this annual revenue after rating, and we refresh it, and you will see a annual revenue being added. Now I can go ahead and bucket this particular column. Okay, so what I'll say is bucket name is company size. This is a column name which you're adding, and you're saying if a company size is less than a million, okay, it's a small company. If it is greater than a million, it's a large company. And if you want to add another one, you can do it also, and you can provide a number here. Let's say less than or greater than million is this, 5 million is this. We'll call it as mid-size company. And then greater than is this one. So now what will happen is a new column will get added. Refreshing it, a new column will add it, and it will tell you, you said, okay, instead of looking at annual revenue, you look at this column and you say, hey, this is a large company because the annual revenue is greater than $1 million. And then this is a small company because annual revenue is less than $1 million. Okay, so you bucketed this particular column. Now you can do another bucket of multiple pick list values into one bucket. Okay, so for example, This is necessary if you need to summarize or group based on combined values. So if you want prospect and customer direct accounts together, then you can create a bucket of those as well. So for example, uh, there are customer direct, majority of them are customer direct and prospect. So here you can bucket this column and you can refresh it and you can bucket this column and you can say prospect and customer direct account type generalize. Okay. Prospect and customer direct and customer channel, you can put it under one bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and add bucket here. And you can say, give me a bucket name. Prospect, customer direct, and customer channel. I'm going to call it as B2B. This is a bucket. And we're going to go ahead and move to B2B. So these have been moved to B2B, add bucket, and we will say B2C. And then the columns I'm going to add here, unbucketed values. I'm going to say B2C is technology partner and other. So now move to B2C. Apply. So now what will happen is a new column has been added. Refresh it here. A new column has been added based on whatever the your type was, right? Prospect and was fallen into this category. The remaining was into B2C. So you have bucketed multiple values together. Now I'll give you a better example. This was not a better example, but let me first make you understand bucket fields are created by clicking the arrow. You have seen how to create them. You define a name for the bucket field and then assign field values, picklist values to specific buckets into one bucket. Basically, bucketing means you, rather than looking into individual values, you group them together and you make them one field value. That is when you do bucketing. Once created, the report is grouped using the bucket field, not the original field. So once you have created the report, the grouping will happen on the bucket field, not on the original field. Bucket fields can be applied to both summary reports as well as to matrix reports. You can do it both ways. We can even do it for tabular, right? We did it for tabular. So for example, here on the opportunity amount, so we will create a bucket field on the opportunity and we will differentiate based on what is the amount of the opportunity. If it is less than 25,000, those are small deals. If it is greater than 25,000 and less than 100,000, it's medium deals. And if it is more than 100,000, it is large deals. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and we will go to the reports, discard it, and we will create the report on all opportunities. And here I'm going to create a bucket, edit it, and we will do it on the amount, bucket this column, and I'll call this as deal size. Okay, less than 25,000, it is a small deal. Greater than 25,000 to, let me say, what was that amount? 200,000. It's a medium deal. And then greater than 100,000 is a large deal. So you created a bucket here. And you're also saying treat the empty values in the report as zeros. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply. So what will happen here is refreshing it. A new column has been added and it tells you, is it a small deal? And it has a icon of bucket next to it, large deal or a medium deal, depending upon the amount that you have listed here. Okay, so that is how you create a bucket field. So we have seen how to create a row level formula, a summary formula, and now we are talking about a bucket field. Okay, so next one is on the stage. So let's say you wanted to, based on an opportunity stage, opportunity can be in multiple stages. It can be prospecting, qualification, negotiation, and then finally it's either closed won or lost. So now we wanted to bucket the stage as well. So here I will go to the stage one, and I'm going to go ahead and bucket this column, and I will call it as what is the name here? Stage bucket. I'm just going to give a stage bucket. So prospecting and qualification, we will add it to early stage, move to early stage. Then we'll add another bucket here and we will call this as mid stage. So we'll call this as add bucket mid stage. And under the mid stage, we will add what are the one? Proposal and bucketed values. So we will add which ones? We will add proposal and negotiation. Proposal and negotiation, we will move it to the mid stage. And then another one we will do is final stage or late stage. We will go ahead and add the bucket and we'll call it as final stage. Okay, and then here we will put closed one. We will put closed one, closed, lost. And then is there anything else? I think those were the only two, and we will move them to the final stage. And then here we will apply. So now based on what stages that opportunity is, it will go ahead and add another column here. And it will tell you, hey, it's an early stage opportunity. This is a mid stage. So instead of looking at like now, you know that, okay, it's either in one of those stages. So this is another bucket column we have created for the stage here, early stage, mid stage, and final stage, depending upon that. Okay. Similarly, you can create a bucket on number of employees. So if it is a small business, you will have 1 to 50. If it is large business, you're going to you can create another bucket of mid-market. Any questions on the bucket, guys? Okay, so that is it for today's class because I just wanted to cover reports. Now tomorrow, guys, will you prefer meeting early or will you prefer completely canceling the class for tomorrow? My flight is at 2, but I can do it early class between 8:30 and 9:30. Will that work for you, or do you want me to cancel the class tomorrow again? Because I wanted to finish the syllabus as well, so I wanted to see if I can do an early class tomorrow, if it works for everybody. Speak up, guys.
Yeah, Dipti, for me, it doesn't work. I have
Okay.
something else, yeah.
Okay, so 10 to 12 only, otherwise, so then I'll have to cancel the class.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, it's too early. So I think
Okay. So majority of the people are saying too early, then I will push it to the next week. So we'll talk about dashboards and then we'll also talk about flows because flows is a very important topic and we will cover that in the next class. And after flows, you have approval processes, which is a simple one. Then you have little bit small topics like web to lead and web to case, a little bit on the standard objects. With that, from my side, I've covered entire admin syllabus. Now, if I'm opening the forum for discussion, if you have any question, how was the today's class? Did you feel it too rushed? Did you feel it was good pace? Everything was covered from reports perspective?
Yeah, only thing is maybe I have to go practice and then see how
Yeah.
it works, right? So most of them, I mean, at least me, I was just watching, so I may have to do it hands-on to see
Oh, yes.
what are the difficulties I'm getting into, right?
And tomorrow, maybe Monday, I will send you an assignment and we will, that way you will get some hands-on practice.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for today, and I will see you next weekend then.
Thank you. Have a good day.
thanks, Deepika.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Deepika. Bye.